Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Narut Dharansi from the Faculty of Political Science and Public Administration at Chiang Mai University. Um, as Ajahn Ruth has mentioned, that we have a groups of people who are working from different fields and writing on connectivity. Me myself, as my academic background from international relations, so my analysis and my perspective will be based on the ideas of how international relations people and how foreign policy should be thinking about regional connectivity. And generally, I do research on Japan's relations with the Greater Mekong sub-region, in particular, East-West Economic Corridor, and how those economic corridor affect regional integration and regionalizations in the Greater Mekong sub-region. So when I was approached to write about something on this issue, I was really happy because we generally international relations people, when we talk about regionalizations and economic corridors, most of us would think of the competition between Japan and China or the narrative on the US-China rivalry in the sub-region. But we scarcely talk about how this economic corridor would be integrated with the knowledge of international relations and logistics and business sector. So with this one, actually, it helps us to broaden the ideas of how foreign policy should be shaped from the ideas and from the perspective of business community. 2 days ago, I was in a workshop here in Bangkok, and we discussed how superpowers rivalry between the US, China, Japan, India is affecting regionalization. And we didn't talk about how economic corridor could be capitalized or could be framed as or help us think about regionalization in the future. So I proposed to them that I'm joining this project and I'm writing on Thai centrality. And the workshop that I was attending, they are from international relations field. And when I talk about Thai centrality or the Mekong sub-region centrality, there was a huge debate that people disagree with this kind of idea. With that people from international relations having another kind of centrality that we already have ASEAN centrality. And if we are going to have Mekong centrality or Thai centrality, that might de-emphasize the regional cohesive unity centrality. So it would be an overlapping centrality itself. But anyway, that's the debate in international relation theory and how people from foreign policy think about this kind of ideas of centrality. So the purpose of this chapter is to give background before we get into or we delve into other chapters that would propose ideas on how could we make connectivity fiscally, institutionally, and people-to-people connectivity with other countries. So this chapter, I'm going to talk about the economic and geographical significance of Thai centrality. We generally talk about Thai centrality, and as Jan Ruth mentioned, that when we locate ourselves, Thailand, we always see that we are the center of this sub-region. We thought that we are the leader of this sub-region, and we try to propose for many years that we try to be a leader of this sub-region. We want to make our foreign policy to be more proactive, and after the financial crisis that we step out of the debt and then we have more proactive foreign policy. With this kind of things, with the international and economic political background, we have seen the transforming international order where United States liberal international order has already shaped our economic and political regime. So with that one, Thailand can see that this is going to be an opportunity for Thailand to maybe integrate into regional production network. And economic corridor would be based and could be something that could help us reach that goal. And if we look into a broader area, we would see that the regional dynamic that we have ASEAN, we have more regional integration. It helps us to have more opportunity to collaborate, particularly having from the ideas of mainstream economists thinking that physical connectivity would bring us more prosperity. And when we try to look into the background of international relations and how the dynamic of international and economic order shape and help Thailand to develop our economic corridors with our neighboring country. The first thing that I would like to introduce you and engage you to think about the background is regional initiatives. In the morning, we saw that we talked about some projects and some schemes that we try to link Thailand with our neighboring countries. And we talk about economic corridor, which was created by the Greater Mekong Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation by the Asian Development Bank in 1992. But apart from 1992 economic corridor development things, we also have other regional initiatives that we work with superpowers. We have collaboration with the Greater Mekong Sub-Region Economic Cooperation Program in 1992. And after that, we have Mekong Ganga Cooperation with India in 2000. We developed Ayeyarwady Chao Phraya Mekong Economic Cooperation or ACMEX in 2003. We after that have Japan Mekong Economic Cooperation in 2009. We also have Lower Mekong Initiative, which is now renamed into Mekong US Partnership in 2020. We do have Mekong ROK or South Korea Corporation in 2010, Lan Chang Mekong Corporation in 2014, and Mekong Australia Partnership in 2020. This regional initiative emphasized that this area is actually under the eyes of superpowers, and it has been supported by superpowers to think about what should be developed in the future. Why I'm saying this? I'm sorry, I cannot expand or I cannot make the table bigger, but just from this kind of when we plot out how each regional initiative focus on area of cooperation, one of the common area or the top prioritized area of cooperation would be connectivity. Every regional initiative in the Mekong sub-region focus and says that this regional connectivity should be prioritized, and we focus on that. So, apart from the endeavor of Thailand itself by the government, the international environment also allows us and also push us to think about international connectivity. And economic corridor itself is one of the products, and it could be the ends and means of this connectivity. Making connectivity requires many development schemes like international transport, deep sea port, or physical connectivity like roads or railway. So these kind of schemes that making connectivity is something that we are developing. However, as Thailand is trying to be the center of this phenomenon, we have to think, as we have many regional initiatives and we have to work with many counterparts. We have China, we have Japan, we have the US, and Thailand itself is trying to be the center of this region. What kind of which regional initiative should we focus on, should we prioritize? And what kind of development project should we pay attention to? And apart from many existing literature that has already been studied about Japan and China and the US, this research project has already extended our boundaries. We are looking into how this project, this regional initiative, going to make connectivity with Japan, India, and Hong Kong, and South Korea. It will give another additional top-up ideas of, instead of just focusing on our neighboring countries, we can actually make connectivity through other schemes. So the question is, how could we, or what type of development schemes or mechanism should we develop with them? So as we are going to see the presentation from professors from Hong Kong, India, South Korea, and Japan, why are these countries important to our ideas of this research project? When we look into the trade volume between Thailand and other countries and economy, I try to plot out many countries as I could. China, the United States, Japan, India, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Russia. So from these ideas, we could see that actually, although China and Japan are the top two trade partners with the Mekong sub-region or with Thailand, However, India, Hong Kong, South Korea are also still play important role in our economy relations with other countries. And the number of tourists who visited to Thailand, we can see that these people, these countries also play important role in helping economic because we have many visitors from those countries. However, in 2020, when COVID hit, there was a significant drop of numbers of tourists, but now it's resuming. So, with these brief economic relations with these four countries, we could see that actually instead of just focusing on big countries like China, the United States, maybe these four countries going to be another case studies that we could study and explore more area of collaboration. So the ideas of us of Thai centrality, as Ajahn Ruth has mentioned, we are making connectivity and logistic leadership. We are making sub-regional integration for regional cohesion and diplomatic convening and mediation. Actually, in the field of international relations, or when we look into the literature of many Thai foreign policy thing, there are many people who have been using the word Thai centrality, but they use different kind of ideas and how they explain what is Thai centrality is. So with this one, with the application of this research project, Thai centrality itself focuses on connectivity and logistic leadership, which will actually help us to think how Thailand should play important role in this one. Because when we look into the studies from other presenters in this research project, they are going to propose the idea what could be done to help Thailand link with other countries and what are the maybe constraints or challenges or obstacles that we have to think together and who are going to be stakeholders in to help us bring make bridge with other countries. It's something that we are trying to say that instead of just focusing on big country, we can actually think about these four countries. Why Thailand have to think about making connectivity with other countries apart from our neighboring countries? First, Thailand is actually developing, this is a domestic dynamic itself. We are creating economic corridors, which is actually, as I mentioned earlier, created by many regional initiatives in the sub-region. We are talking about land bridge, which is another ideas that going to shape how Thai going to integrate ourselves in global economy. Land bridge, should it be built? How it's going to shape Thailand foreign policy, geographical dynamic. This is going to be one of the ideas that we have to think. Thailand itself is trying to link regional production network with our neighboring countries and how could we broaden or expand these linkages into with other countries which share no boundaries with our country. And Thailand itself is trying to be aviation hub of the sub-region. And one of the most promising and anticipated project from the government is Eastern Economic Corridor or EEC. With this kind of domestic dynamic, it's going to drive Thailand to think about how could we integrate stakeholders, government agencies, officials, academics, and many actors in our society to help develop Thai centrality. And when we look into a broader idea, as I talk about regional initiative, we will see that there are many dynamics that are going to help Thailand think about Thai centrality. The first is the ADB's GMS program that I mentioned earlier in 1992. This already been constructed and is going to help Thailand have more opportunity to think with our neighboring countries. Regional initiative, which is on the diagram on the right-hand side of the screen, there are many regional initiatives that has already been developed and is going to develop more, deepening in the future. Another dynamic things that we have to pay focus on is the dynamics of geo-economic, the global trade and investment regime and cooperation. We have seen the increasing debate of in Thailand joining BRICS or OECD or many regional cooperation in the future. So this one going to have make Thai government think instead of in how to integrate Thai foreign policy that we would like to be Thai centrality, the leader of this region, but how could we think about this going to help us integrate with the broader economic regime that is transforming? Mind you, don't forget that as the world is transforming and Trump has already stepped in the parliament and there are many constraints and alternative emerging international economic order proposed by those countries. So with that transforming economic regime, how can this going to shape Thailand foreign policy and how we going to develop our or change our foreign policy or change our connectivity direction with our neighboring countries? Another two narratives that we have been discussing are the U.S.-China competition and China and Japan rivalry. These two narratives have shaped our direction when we make collaboration with other countries very much. I would use the word that we are stuck in quagmire, that we stuck with the ideas of how the US and China competition would shape Thai foreign policy. And with that one, it affects how we think about trade and investment and how could we develop collaboration with China itself, the United States itself, and it will lead us to think how we shape our connectivity or economic corridor with our neighboring countries. And there are many issues that we have to think and take into account when we think about connectivity. First is domestic issues. You have seen that there are many regional initiatives that trying to propose connectivity with our neighboring countries. However, there are many issues such as human rights or authoritarian political regime in this sub-region that is constrained us from making comprehensive and effective collaboration in the region. So these are two very basic issues when we think about making connectivity, and if Thailand would like to be the center or playing a leading role in Thai centrality, making connection with other countries, maybe Thailand have to deal, or how could we make as one of the Thai centrality we are making about a mediation, right? So Thailand, how could we mediate or bring these issues into table and help other countries discuss the region? Territorial dispute, South China Sea, human rights, and Myanmar. These are the issues that are going to affect how we think about foreign policy and Thai connectivity. So within these challenges that we have dynamic of international relations, economic, the world is changing, competition between the US and China, China and Japan. So these dynamics brought us to think, instead of just focusing on economic development, maybe economic corridor would be something that we can use to make us to be a leader of this sub-region. We can propose the ideas of how to develop physical connectivity, and we can propose and facilitate institutional connectivity and people-to-people connectivity. And from the studies from our promising four professors here, they are going to propose that maybe instead of just really thinking about these three ideas, there might be some ideas or some area of cooperation that we can work on together. What about technological connectivity, science, technology, and connectivity, cultural connectivity? We can listen to their ideas more. That might be all the options. And four professors are going to talk about stakeholders. These are going to be something that they have to think about. Instead of Thailand thinking ourselves from Thai centrality itself, maybe who should be brought into the table and discuss the opportunity and mechanisms that we want to work together. And as I mentioned earlier, this is something that actually just brought up into my mind last night, and I just want to put it here, that when we talk about Thai centrality itself, there are some counter arguments. Some people would even say that Thai centrality or Mekong centrality itself might not be a good idea because it de-emphasizes the importance of ASEAN centrality. However, because those are the ideas that this kind of centrality opinion would counter, or it would, not go along well together. However, the ideas of this research project going to anyway somehow help us to think about what should be the center of Thai foreign policy in the future, thinking about connectivity in the future. And this, we will listen to our four presenters who are going to share their ideas on how to make connection with Thailand from the ideas of Thai centrality.